What I hear from many HI directors and executives today is we want to unlock the next level of potential and grow as an organization, not by doing more, not by pushing harder, but by making better choices in how we lead, communicate, and collaborate. I'd like to start with a question. Have you ever worked with a leader who made you want to perform at your best? Not because they were the smartest person in the room, not because they had all the answers, but because of how they showed up every day. Now think of a different leader, one who drained energy from the team, one whose reactions made people hold back ideas, one who unintentionally created uncertainty. What was the difference? In most cases, it wasn't intelligence, it wasn't experience, it wasn't strategy, it was habits. The daily habits that either increased trust, ownership, accountability, and performance, or slowly decreased them. Today, I want to talk about something some leaders overlook: the leadership infrastructure behind sustainable growth, and specifically one element of that infrastructure: emotional intelligence habits. Because sustainable growth is not protected by a strategy document. It's protected by the habits leaders repeat day after day. Protect the emotional intelligence habits, and you'll protect the momentum and the outcome. When leaders hear the phrase emotional intelligence, many immediately think about empathy. And empathy is certainly a part of it. But emotional intelligence is much bigger than empathy. Emotional intelligence is your ability to understand what's happening inside you, understand what's happening around you, and use that information to make better decisions. Think about it. If you're unaware that you're frustrated, you're more likely to react impulsively. If you're unaware that a team member is disengaged, you're more likely to miss a problem before it becomes expensive. If you're unaware that your behavior is creating uncertainty, you're more likely to unintentionally reduce performance. And I tell you, I've seen it. Emotional intelligence is the ability to use the brain's different networks in the most effective way in order to switch between rational and emotional, structured and creative, decisive and brainstorming. It's about being aware of your emotions, of your impact of other people, and aware enough to choose your response rather than simply reacting. Some of the most emotionally intelligent leaders I've coached are the most self-aware. They notice when they are becoming defensive, making assumptions, or not listening. And because they notice it, they can change it. That's why emotional intelligence is one of the most important pieces of leadership infrastructure. Because if you can't manage yourself, it becomes difficult to consistently lead others. And when leaders develop habits that strengthen emotional intelligence, communication improves, trust improves, decision-making improves, and performance improves. So protect the emotionally intelligent habits, and you'll protect the momentum and the outcome. Because every day, leaders are either building momentum or unintentionally slowing it down. And here's a key message I want you to remember. Protect the habits, and you'll protect the momentum and the outcome. Because momentum doesn't disappear overnight. Momentum leaks one interaction at a time, one conversation at a time, one habit at a time. Let me share something I see frequently in my coaching work. A leader receives feedback from a team member. The feedback isn't dramatic. It's simply, I think communication could be clearer. Now, there are two possible responses. Many, rather. Leader number one immediately explains, well, that's because we're busy, or you don't have all the information. Maybe something like, we've already discussed that. Nothing aggressive, nothing rude, but immediately defensive. Leader number two responds differently. Something like, interesting, tell me more. Can you give me an example? Same feedback, different habit. The first leader shuts down information. The second leader invites information. The first leader loses learning opportunities. The second leader creates trust. Now, multiply that by hundreds of interactions throughout a year. Can you see how different the outcomes become? Not because of strategy, because of habits. Protect the habits, and you'll protect the momentum and the outcome. There is an invisible cost of low emotional intelligence habits. Many leaders think poor emotional intelligence creates relationship problems. That's true, but that's not the biggest cost. The biggest cost is performance. Think about this. If people don't feel heard, they contribute less. If people don't feel safe, they share fewer ideas. If people don't trust their leader, they avoid difficult conversations. If they avoid difficult conversations, problems stay hidden. If problems stay hidden, performance drops. So, emotional intelligence isn't just about feelings. It's about business results, revenue, innovation, retention, execution, decision-making. All of those things are influenced by emotional intelligence habits. I'd like you to reflect on something. Think about the last time someone challenged your opinion. What was your first reaction? Was it curiosity or was it defense? Because the first reaction often reveals the habit, and habits create culture. Let's look at a few habits that decrease emotional intelligence. Not because people are bad leaders, but because they're human. The first is reacting before reflecting. Something happens, someone says something, a customer complains, a team member disagrees, and we react instantly. The second is assuming instead of asking. We think we know why someone behaved a certain way, so we fill in the gaps ourselves. The third is avoiding difficult conversations. We tell ourselves, it's not the right time, I'll wait, it'll solve itself. Usually it doesn't. The fourth is focusing on intent rather than impact. I didn't mean it that way. Maybe not, but impact matters. These habits slowly drain momentum. Not dramatically, gradually. That's why they are so dangerous. Now, let's look at habits that strengthen emotional intelligence. The first is curiosity. Curiosity is one of the most underrated leadership skills. Instead of, I don't think that's a fair assessment, try, help me understand your thinking. The second is self-awareness. Asking yourself, what am I feeling right now? What story am I telling myself? What assumptions am I making? The third is ownership. Instead of blaming circumstances, ask yourself, what is my contribution to this situation? The fourth is intentional listening. Listening to understand, not listening to respond. Simple habits, but powerful habits. Here's a practical exercise you can start using today. The 3-second pause. The next time someone says something that frustrates you, pause for 3 seconds before responding. And ask yourself, what outcome do I want from this conversation? You'll be amazed at how often 3 seconds changes the quality of your response. And When leaders improve the quality of their responses, teams improve the quality of their conversations. Another exercise you can try is replace assumptions with questions. For the next week, every time you catch yourself making an assumption, replace it with a question. For example, instead of "she's not committed," ask, "What might I not know?" Instead of "he's resisting change," ask, "What concerns does he have?" Instead of "they don't care," ask, "What obstacle might they be facing?" One question can completely change a conversation. Let me share something I've learned from coaching leaders over many years. The leaders who create extraordinary results are rarely the leaders who have perfect strategies. They're the leaders who consistently model productive habits. They create clarity when others create confusion. They stay curious when others become defensive. They address issues when others avoid them, and because of those habits, people trust them. And trusted leaders create stronger performance. Again, protect the habits and you'll protect the momentum and outcome. This connects directly to something I wrote about in my book, Performance Alchemy. Many people want different results: better performance, higher engagement, stronger leadership, more growth. But they focus on outcomes. The challenge is that outcomes are a reflection of the habits and behaviors that came before them. You cannot directly control results. You can control behaviors. You can control habits. You can control how you show up. And over time, those habits create results. That's the alchemy. Small behavioral shifts creating extraordinary performance outcomes. Before we finish, I'd like you to think about one final question. If someone observed you leading for the next 30 days, what habit would they see most often? Curiosity, defensiveness, listening, interrupting, ownership, blame? Because whatever habit they observe most often is likely the habit shaping your culture, and culture shapes performance. I'll leave you with this thought. Most leaders focus on goals. The best leaders focus on habits because goals create direction, but habits create reality. So, if you want sustainable growth, if you want stronger engagement, if you want better performance, don't start by asking, "What results do I want?" Start by asking, "What habit will create that result?" And remember, protect the habit, and you'll protect the momentum and outcome. If you found this helpful, kindly like the post, share your reflections in the comments, and share this link with your network. What was the one thing that you found most helpful today?